Details are being released tonight about the death of actress Anne Heche. The coroner's office revealing tonight that she was not impaired with any illicit substances when she crashed her Mini Cooper into a Mar Vista home in August.
Anxious or that quick moving that was going on the other side of the vehicle. Oh my gosh, he's completely alive. He was trying to get away.
And I told Ellen that I needed to have friends. She said she did not want to have a girlfriend that needed that. And that is the day I left. I think she tried to put me in an institution, folks. I called my mother. Guess what? 2 people who wanted more than anything to have my truth buried. It was.
Listen, what I'm about to tell you sounds impossible, but every single word is documented. Every detail is real. And by the end of this, you're going to question everything you thought you knew about Hollywood. August 2022, Anne Heche dies in a car accident. Tragic, right? That's what they want you to think. But here's where it gets strange. The toxicology reports, they showed she was completely sober, stone cold sober, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing. And then there's the footage. You've probably seen it. Anne Heche on a stretcher, covered head to toe in a white sheet. The firefighters are wheeling her toward the ambulance, and then she sits up.
Anne Heche has died. Her vehicle ran off the road at a high rate of speed and collided into a house in LA last Friday.
She's alive, she's conscious, and she's trying to get off that stretcher. She's fighting, she's struggling to escape. That footage haunts people to this day. But this story doesn't start with that accident. It starts months earlier, because in the final weeks of her life, Anne Heche was saying things, doing things that made people nervous. Now here's where this gets absolutely insane. 4 months before Anne's accident, she reached out to someone, Ellen DeGeneres' DJ. You know him, Twitch, Steven Twitch Boss, the guy who smiled on camera every single day, the guy America loved. Anne told him something. She warned him. She told him to watch his back. Think about that for a second. Why would Anne Heche, Ellen's ex-girlfriend, warn Ellen's current employee to watch his back? What did she know? 4 months after Anne's accident, Twitch is found dead. Official ruling, suicide, a few days before Christmas. He was discovered in a motel room. No prior warning, no goodbye, no suicide note, just gone.
A source told TMZ that Twitch checked into a motel less than a mile away from his home Monday morning. They said motel staffers said that he didn't appear to be in any sort of distress and wasn't visibly upset about anything. And apparently no one heard the gunshot.
2 people, both connected to Ellen DeGeneres, both dead within months of each other. You starting to see a pattern here? But let's rewind, because there's an interview, a resurfaced interview that changes everything. In this interview, Anne Heche makes disturbing claims. She says Ellen's obsession with money destroyed her career, destroyed her life. She says Ellen kept her isolated, kept her away from friends, away from anyone who could help her. And then Anne drops this bombshell. Ellen tried to have her committed, institutionalized, locked away. But here's the twist. Anne also mentioned something else. She was allegedly working on a documentary about dark Hollywood rituals, about things the industry doesn't want you to know. Now stay with me, because Anne Heche didn't just disappear quietly from Hollywood. For over 20 years, she searched for support for work, for anyone who would take her seriously, but nobody would touch her. Studios avoided her. Directors turned her down. Why? Ellen's influence. They labeled her crazy. They called her addicted. They destroyed her reputation, and Anne herself admitted it. She self-medicated because of how Ellen treated her, because of what Ellen did to her career, to her mind, to her spirit. This gets crazier. In 2021, Anne goes on her podcast, Better with Anne and Heather, and she exposes everything. She says Ellen blacklisted her, kept her off studio sets, even banned her from appearing on Ellen's own talk show, her own girlfriend's show. But listen to this part carefully. Anne claims Ellen collaborated with her own mother to have Anne institutionalized.
The truth that I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, or despised more, and then had calculated visions and circulations of systems that spun me up and out of the system that would in any way challenge the fact that she was not telling her own truth, but another's. Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I called my mother. Guess what? 2 people who wanted more than anything to have my truth buried. It was not my timing. I did not and could not ask God for what that would be. All I could do was stay on my truth, do what I was doing, and study this thing called love that we tried to bury. And now I am up and out of the ground. And unfortunately, those two women could not shut me.
Think about the level of control that requires, the level of power, the level of calculation. Anne said it herself.
You like your money because that's why I broke up with you. Do you like sitting on your piles of cash? Because guess what? It gets you exactly where you are. And by the way, baby, it's what you wanted then, and I hope you're liking it now. Cheers. I broke up with her because her goal was to have a lot of money, and mine was to find love, and hers was I want 60 billion. Good luck. Our forks are never going to meet. The further we stay on with this, the further we will be apart.
Ellen's obsession with money and power was why she ended things, why she walked away. And then there's the warning to Twitch. In one of Anne's final interviews, she talks about a man who smiles for the cameras but struggles behind the scenes. Fans believe she was talking about Twitch. She had to be. Anne said she told this man to leave immediately, to get out before it was too late. 4 months later, Twitch was dead. Now let's talk about Anne and Ellen's relationship. To the world, they were groundbreaking. The first lesbian power couple in Hollywood. They were on magazine covers, red carpets. They were everywhere. But behind the scenes, rumors painted a very different picture, a toxic picture. Anne later confirmed it. Ellen was controlling, isolating, manipulative.
And if this answers the question, when I told Ellen that I needed to have friends, she said she did not want to have a girlfriend that needed that.
And when Anne finally broke free in 2000, something bizarre happened. Days after the breakup, Anne gets in her car. She starts driving towards San Joaquin Valley. No explanation, no plan. She later said she was following instructions to go somewhere, to do something. She abandons her car. She's wandering, dehydrated, confused. She knocks on a random ranch house door. The tabloids called it a mental breakdown. They used it against her for years. But here's what they don't tell you. Earlier that same year, Anne had been hospitalized after a medication reaction. Was someone drugging her? Was someone trying to make her look unstable? Fast forward to August 5th, 2022.
As we can see the helicopter video there of the car in the house, you can see firefighters on the scene there taking that car out from the house. Fox 11 in Los Angeles said the driver went into that house and sparked a fire. Firefighters were on the scene just before 11 a.m. on the West Coast. A car, a Mini Cooper, you can see there, went through the house, causing a massive fire.
This is the day that changes everything. Anne crashes her car into a garage. A bystander runs up, tells her to stop, to stay put, to wait for help. Anne reverses, and she speeds away.
I'm out of this.
Moments later, a doorbell camera captures her car flying down the street, extremely fast, out of control. And then the final crash. She slams into a house. The car gets stuck 30 feet inside the structure. 30 feet. Fire breaks out. Flames everywhere. And firefighters take 45 minutes to reach her. 45 minutes. She's trapped in an inferno. She suffers critical burns, smoke inhalation. She's barely alive. August 7th. 2 days later, reports come out saying she's stable, expected to recover. Ellen DeGeneres, silent. No statement, no condolences, nothing. August 8th, her condition suddenly becomes critical. Out of nowhere, she's put on a ventilator. What changed overnight? August 11th.
And Heche has been taken off life support a week after her horrific car crash. The 53-year-old actress was declared brain dead on Friday, and she was held on life support in order to donate her organs.
I would say to anybody, go for what you feel truthfully in your life, and you will be rewarded
a million.
Doctors declare she's unlikely to survive. How do you go from stable to dying in 4 days? August 14th, Anne is removed from life support. She's gone. And the public starts asking questions, real questions, because none of this adds up. The autopsy comes back, and here's where things get really disturbing. Police initially claimed Anne was intoxicated during the crash, that she was under the influence. But the official autopsy, no active drugs, no alcohol, nothing in her system. She was sober. And that stretcher footage, the one where she's sitting up, trying to escape, that's not the behavior of someone who's dying. That's someone who's fighting, someone who knows something is wrong. But this pattern doesn't start with Anne.
LA City Fire Department, their paramedics pulled that driver from that vehicle. We have tape of that, and then basically had him on a gurney. We weren't sure what the situation was there on his condition, but then as he made his way over to the ambulance, you see it right there. He jumps up out of that gurney. It was horrific, scary for a moment for everybody watching. And then the fire department, well, they had to sedate him and take him to the hospital. Right now, though, the structure is still standing. No other victims inside that home.
Ellen's ex-girlfriend before Anne, Katie Perkoff, died in a mysterious car accident back in 1982. Rumors swirled about a mafia hit, about a police cover-up. Some people speculated that her death helped Ellen's career, cleared a path for her rise to fame. 2 ex-girlfriends, both dead in car accidents decades apart. Now here's the part that makes people nervous. Anne was allegedly working on a documentary, not just any documentary, a documentary about child trafficking, about adrenochrome harvesting, about Hollywood's so-called youth rituals. Some believe Anne became a target because of what she was uncovering, that her death was a warning to anyone else who might speak out, to anyone who might expose the truth. And then there's the Diddy moment. Fans remember it now. Diddy appeared on The Ellen Show. He joked about having videos involving Anne, videos involving Twitch. At the time, everyone laughed. It seemed harmless, a joke between celebrities. But look at Twitch's face in that moment. Go back and watch it. He's not laughing. He looks uncomfortable, troubled, like he knows something the audience doesn't. Because here's what they don't want you to think about. Anne Heche spent 2 decades being silenced, 2 decades being labeled, 2 decades watching her career crumble. While Ellen's empire grew bigger and bigger, Ellen became untouchable, America's sweetheart, the woman who danced on TV every day and told everyone to be kind. But behind that smile, behind those dance moves, Anne saw something different. She lived it. She survived it. And when she finally started talking, when she finally started exposing what really happened, suddenly her car crashes into a house and she's dead within 9 days. Think about the timing. Anne warns Twitch, tells him to get out, to protect himself. Twitch stays. He keeps smiling. He keeps dancing on that show. Until one day in December, he doesn't. He's found in a motel room days before Christmas. His wife said everything was fine. His friend said he was happy. But was he? Or did he know too much? The documentary Anne was working on, the one about Hollywood's darkest secrets, nobody knows what happened to it. Nobody knows what footage she had, what interviews she conducted, what evidence she collected. It vanished, just like she did. But here's what can't be erased: the questions, the inconsistencies, the timeline that doesn't make sense, the footage of Anne fighting on that stretcher, the toxicology report that contradicts everything, the warning she gave Twitch months before his death. Hollywood wants you to move on. They want you to forget, to accept the official story and stop asking questions. Anne tried to pull back the curtain. She tried to show you what Hollywood really is beneath the glitter and the smiles, and they silenced her. But her story, her warnings, they're still here. And now you know. Now you've seen the pattern. The real question isn't what happened to Anne Heche. The real question is, how many others are there? How many people have tried to speak up and mysteriously ended up dead or discredited? And the even bigger question, who's next?
And,
All right.
Yo, Ellen, we go so far back. You don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear t-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right, let's.
I mean,
you hold that.
Okay,
all right.
I keep this. Take 2 if the joke didn't work.
No, it's okay.
I don't want no problems.
No, it's okay.
No, hold on. Hey, so cheers.